Hi guys, I am here to do a tentative nonfiction November to be read. I'm not the best at sticking with the TBR just because I'm a mood reader. I think we've all established this. But I have pulled like a dozen. I haven't even counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13. A baker's dozen of various books from my to be read cart. Stop that. Somebody is in a very biting kind of mood today. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, go look at the birds. Um, I have this cart that this is sitting on right now. Um, and I could count on one hand the amount of books I've pulled off of it to read. And this was this grand project of everything from my TBR cart will be read by the end of the year. Not even remotely going to happen. I don't even know if they'll be read next year. So we'll just wing it. And I may just get a wild hair and take everything off the cart and just put different selections on it. Who knows? Anyways, these are in no order. The first one is Life Among the Savages by Shirley Jackson. I have never read Shirley Jackson. I do have The Haunting of Hill House, I believe, the ebook. I know I don't have the physical copy. I think I bought this before I even bought The Haunting of Hill House just because it sounds funny. So it just says, one of America's most celebrated writers takes you home to a family in a small town so funny and unpredictable you wish it were your own. And it's really short. It's 235 pages, and if you can tell, it's pretty large print. So I'm excited for this. This one is just a ha-ha funny. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before that my mother-in-law bought this for my husband for Christmas, just as a gag. And I was like, that's mine. Why did you give him a book? I have to claim it. But just one of those things of, before bed or in the middle of the day, just read a couple of pages of random facts. Can holding in a fart kill you? This is what I need to know. This is what I need to know in my life. So, over 150 curious questions and intriguing answers. Again, really short. Nothing that I have to study. I'm cool with that. And I've honestly tried to read it a couple of times this year, and it's just not happened. So, we also have Love Stories of World War II by Larry King. So, just a collection of various couples' stories on how they met, how they were affected by the war, and I believe their life after the war in building families. So, this one is a little bit bigger, but I think I would breeze right through it. Then we have Road to Terra, The Life of Margaret Mitchell by Anne Edwards. I got this one a month or two ago, and I put a bookmark in it. Am I not the cutest thing? I don't remember if that was intentional. It probably was, knowing me. This one is a chub. I say it's a chub. It's not really. It's just a little over 300 pages, but it looks huge, in my opinion. But honestly, I don't. Sadly, I've read Gone with the Wind 2.5 times, started it 9,000 times, and I don't know much about Margaret Mitchell as a human being. So I need to remedy that. I feel like I watched. I listened to Pat Conroy's My Life in Reading, which would have been perfect for Nonfiction November. I finished it the other day, and he was talking about his mom was poor, so growing up in the Great Depression, you kind of have to find ways of coping, and she wasn't book smart by any means, but she was a avid reader, and he remembers her reading Gone with the Wind to him as a 5-year-old, and the sweeping story kind of was what started him in on his love of books that cultivated into, his love of writing. So, not nonfiction, but I have Prince of Tides that I have not read, nor have I seen the movie. Yes, that movie is ancient and I've never seen it. So that will be on my stack. I pulled it out the other day. So I want to read Prince of Tides by Pat Conroy. And then this one I've had for years. The Mole People, Life in the Tunnels Beneath New York City. It's a very short one as well. I promise I didn't pick just short books. I picked pretty much every book off of my cart that's nonfiction, barring some really cheesy self-help books that honestly will probably never get read because, come on, self-help can be kind of boring. Playing with Trains, A Passion Beyond Scale. So apparently Sam Posey, a man who has a love of model trains, and I'm a train nerd. Like, the train tracks are probably like a couple miles that way, and I hear them all the time. And my husband and I can be out and about and see the train coming, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm a little kid. It's so exciting to see a diesel locomotive. I am a snob. While steam trains are exciting and antique, I'm a hag for a diesel train. We went on a train trip 2 falls ago on a diesel train, and he was like, come out, because they have a platform where it had benches and you could be outside on the train as it was going, and it was right behind the engine. And the engineer was tooting the horn, and I'm like gleeful about it. And that's almost embarrassing to admit, but that's me. I mean, look, that's my childhood model train, diesel. And I begged for a train set for years as a child, and my mom told my dad I couldn't have it because I was a girl and trains were for boys. No. Trains can also be for little girls who love pink fluffy dresses, okay? Okay. Then we have From Here to Eternity, Traveling the World to Find the Good Death by Caitlin Doughty. She's the author of Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, which I read a couple of years ago and really enjoyed. This one is about fascinated by her pervasive fear of dead bodies, mortician Caitlin Doughty set out to discover how other cultures care for the dead. So I know that this has made the rounds. I've had it for a while, and I honestly don't know why I have not snatched it up. Again, it's pretty short. So I feel like picking bunches of short ones, I'm more likely to knock out at least half of these. Rocket Boys by Homer Hickman. My friend in West Virginia, she is a middle school history teacher, and they, I can't say if they do it in October, because the movie adaptation of this is October Sky, which is all these fun boys. Anagram. Is it anagram? Am I being silly? Mixed back up. But because it's based out of West Virginia, she teaches this in her history class, and I am ashamed again to admit I have never seen the movie, and I know very little about this. So I've had it on my nightstand, under my nightstand for years, so this is on my cart. In the Sanctuary of Outcasts by Neil White. This one was, he served prison for 18 months for bank fraud in a rural Louisiana prison. The prison was also a home to the last people in the continental United States disfigured by leprosy. So it was like the leprosy prison. Of course, that got me. And I know that this ebook is available from the library. So if I feel like reading it as digital, I have that option. Eleanor and Hick, The Love Affair That Shaped First Lady by Susan Quinn. Apparently, Eleanor and her best friend were supposedly lovers. That's the rumor. I don't see why it would just be a rumor. I mean, it's legit. I know it would have had to have been kept hush under the premise of being just a female-female friendship, but I look forward to reading this. I I feel like there's another one I have that's called White Houses. That's also, it's fiction, but it's based off of their relationship. So I don't think it's in my cart. So I'll have to look for it and maybe read it too, even though it's not nonfiction. And I'm not exclusively going to be doing nonfiction in November because there are other audiobooks that I have borrowed from the library. And it's just going to be, like I said, my mood. Jen Lancaster's Generation X. This is my very last of her nonfiction books. I will not read her fiction. I tried one and I was like, nah, not for me. So I've been hoarding this one because, like I said, it's her last one to date. So this one may get the cut because I'll be like, I don't want to read the last one and not have anything else. So we'll see. Trailer Trash, an 80s memoir. I cannot remember what channel I saw this on. I want to say it was Joe from Retired Reader. But basically, a girl's 80s memoir of growing up in a trailer park. And it's super short and wide margins, wide spacing. So it'll be quick. And the last one, I went out and was excited about finding this at the used bookstore. Now that I see how much I paid for it with credit, it's probably there now for like $2. I didn't pay anything for it, so I have no shame, no guilt. But In Pieces by Sally Field. So, like I said, I was super excited for it. My library didn't have it. Now my library has it, and it's available all the time. And I'm pretty sure they have the audiobook too. So, I may end up finding the audiobook. So that's it. There is one here, maybe. I highly doubt it. Who's Afraid of Marie Curie? The Challenges Facing Women in Science and Technology. Maybe a little bit dry, but that's it. That's all. I am listening to Blowout by Rachel Maddow right now. Last month, could have been earlier this month, listened to her first one. It's completely leaving my brain. It wasn't that long ago that I listened to it. It was really good. It was about the Iraq War. That's still ongoing, obviously. Very good, but Blowout is about fracking and the oil industry in various countries. Mostly it's centered around Russia and kind of like the whole political climate now. And it was a rough start. It's honestly dry. I'm going to finish it just because I actually joined Audible just to listen to it because I wasn't about to be waiting for the library book. And it's a good thing because had I tried to read it in book format, I would have tapped out long ago. So I have about 8 hours left of it. I listen at 1.7 speed, so we'll say I have about 6 hours. I know that's not accurate math, but we'll just round it up to 6 hours, which I hope to have done in the next 4 or so days. And that way I can go in and cancel my Audible. And then I have, I'm trying to think what other I have from just the library. Overdrive. I have one, The Mockingbird Next Door, about a woman's relationship with Harper Lee. Charlatan, which is, I don't know how to say it other than just some random huckster that took advantage of people back in the day, of kind of like snake oil, traveling salesman kind of thing. I can't think of the other ones. I know there are 2 other nonfiction ones that I have right now. One is World War II. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I've got a plethora of things that I can listen to and read in the month of November. Please let me know if you've read any of these, which ones are the best ones, which ones maybe I shouldn't read, or maybe I just push to the side what you are reading, because I'm not just a nonfiction November reader. I'm a nonfiction all year long. That's probably half of my reading is honestly nonfiction. I had a really hard time with fiction because I was reading so much, but I'm slowly getting back into it. So that's it. I feel like I've rambled on and on and on. And if I wait too long, it'll cut me off saying I don't have time left. But that's it. I will maybe do an October wrap up because I listened and read a lot, like 20 plus books. There's no way I'll be like 30 in a month, but I would say it's probably one of the months I've read / listened to the most. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And if I'm not mistaken, my total for the year is either 180 or 181 books. And so it's telling me I'm almost at my limit. So I hope to get to 200 by the end of the year. That will be awesome. Bye. Bye. Bye.